Welcome to Max Level Marketing Podcast, your daily controversial technology news, where we inform you on what's happening in the tech world in real time and explore the impact and opportunities brought to you by producer and neuromarketing and AI growth strategist, myself, Maxine Ebegbuzie. Now, so Meta announced the launch of its Llama 4 AI models, positioning them as this monumental leap in AI. They're boasting faster performance, better bias mitigation, and newly integrated multimodal capabilities. This was way more than just a product launch here. It was intended to set a bar for the industry. But within days, oh my goodness, it all unraveled. Major tech media and independent researchers started calling foul. Reports from TechCrunch and others surfaced suggesting that Meta manipulated benchmarks, and what they did was they artificially inflated Llama 4's perceived performance. The allegations are that they cherry picked data sets, they optimized runs that don't reflect real world usage, and then there was some strategic omission of competitor comparisons where they would have looked weak. Now, Meta, for its part, denies all allegations, but the damage to perception is already done. See, what's going on here is in an AI race where trust equals adoption, this is a major credibility stumble at a critical moment. And I want to talk about the impact now on the world here, specifically US and Canada, and of course the world. We're all affected by this, and I'll tell you how. So, for North America and beyond, business leaders, all the implications go beyond Meta. So, number one is due diligence is non negotiable. See, startups and agencies building on AI models, for example, can't afford to trust press releases or corporate blogs at face value anymore after this. Independent validation must be baked into vendor selection processes now going forward. So, number two is investment behavior will shift at this point. So, venture capitalists and institutional investors, they're going to start demanding third party benchmarking before backing any AI startups. This is what I suspect. So, expect lower funding rounds, but also higher quality tech to rise. And number three, enterprise adoption will stall. Companies poised to integrate Llama 4 into maybe things like SaaS platforms or enterprise stacks are going to pause deployment until real world performance is confirmed, especially for critical apps like legal tech, med tech, fintech, where error tolerance is razor thin. And then now the last one is cross border contracts are going to get tighter. So in places like Windsor, Detroit, where we're straddling both sides of the border, where cross-border AI projects are booming, okay? Procurement policies are going to evolve at this point. So expect AI vetting to become a legal clause in contracts going forward now. So what's the bottom line? Well, the bottom line is that when stakes are high like this, good enough marketing no longer sells a tech product. Performance proof will be the new price of admission. I want to talk about the effects in the Windsor, Detroit area a little bit more localized because locally, this hits even harder in many ways. So AI startups in the Windsor, Detroit corridor, especially those relying on Llama 2 integrations, are now scrambling to reevaluate their product roadmaps altogether. So the caution for local founders, if your AI narrative is tied too tightly to big tech without independent proof points, you're vulnerable, okay? You're vulnerable. So you want to shift fast and build your own credibility shield. Now, when it comes to branding and marketing, I want to just do a brief analysis. We don't have too much time for that. But Meta's misstep is a textbook branding risk at scale. Okay. They tried to play two brand games at once. Number one was the innovation hero. We're pushing the boundaries of AI. And then number two, the trust anchor. Our models are safer, fairer, smarter. But here's a fatal flaw. You can't claim supremacy and safety without proof. And without third party validation, the innovation narrative collapses under scrutiny. And the trust narrative, it feels super hollow. So the strategic misses here in their branding and marketing strategy that I see is that they lean too hard on proprietary benchmarks without allowing external validation. And then they underestimated the growing sophistication of the tech savvy audience who now demands open source performance proof. It's like they conflated speed to market with market readiness. And so auto tech and smart mobility projects, I mean, these sectors deeply woven into Windsor Detroit's innovation economy, they may experience project delays if vendors can't prove AI robustness. Okay. And then talent mitigation risks. So AI credibility issues at big tech could accelerate the mitigation of, top AI talent away from large players into small, specialized AI firms. This is an opportunity, a massive opportunity for local companies to poach elite engineers at this point. Man, if Meta is smart, here's a brand recovery playbook here. Right now, immediately get into independent third-party audits of Llama 4. Number two, you want to have some public roadmap transparency around model tuning practices. And then also, you want real world case studies from respected, critical users, not handpicked friends. So, the lessons for other brands in this right now is credibility is a product feature now. Bake it into your launches or risk getting wrecked by your own marketing. The psychological tactics, I want to talk about that too as well, because there was a few here that they did. So one was anchoring bias. So by initially blasting performance numbers without actual full context, Meta, they anchored early adopters to believe Llama 4 was best in class before real scrutiny even started. And in the social proof play, the strategic leaks, the influencer seeding, the blog rollouts, they tried to manufacture consensus before authentic grassroots validation could even form. And then they also used the FOMO, the fear of missing out. So urging developers to start building on Llama 4, hinting at competitive advantages if they got in early. Oh, that backfired so badly. So the danger in these tactics is that once the anchor cracks, once FOMO backfires, you don't just lose this product cycle, you risk burning bridges with your future adopters, integrators, and investors. The psychological manipulation without delivering actual value always comes home to roost, flat out. But here's the thing, opportunities have been created now by this fallout. So for tech founders, build your brand on verifiable outcomes, not buzzwords, and then partner with independent auditors and flaunt your transparency. Create side by side performance reports showing how you outperform incumbents. And now for agencies and consultants, launch AI due diligence services for enterprise clients going forward and position yourself as the translator between flashy tech claims and operational reality. And also, another thing agencies and consultants can do is you can teach procurement teams how to audit AI vendors properly. And for local innovators in Windsor, Detroit, I'm talking to you. You want to poach disillusioned AI talent tired of big tech BS. Launch proof first platforms that restore trust in enterprise grade AI. And then focus on ethical AI development. Build with auditable transparency baked in. So the conclusion here, let's get to the conclusion. So Meta's Llama 4 launch should be a wake-up call for everyone in the tech industry. This is more than a story about benchmarks that were doctored. It's about the future of trust in the AI economy. If you're building, buying, or betting on AI right now, the rules have changed. Third-party proof, first-party hype. Credibility is greater than speed. Strategic transparency is greater than polished press releases. In a world right now that we're living in, where a world where perception, that we're driven by perception, essentially, right? We're in a world where perception is everything and trust is the ultimate tech stack. So don't just launch products, you need to launch truth. And if you're in the Windsor Detroit innovation frontline area like me, where local brands meet global competition, how you build trust today determines whether you survive tomorrow. So, all right, that's the end of our podcast. If this gave you a whole new lens on today's AI economy, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a comment, share it with somebody building big moves, and stay locked in. Max Level Marketing Podcast isn't about following the noise. It's about leading with strategy and clarity. Brought to you by yours truly, Maxine Ebegbuzie and Max Mobile Solutions. Stay bold.